Oh wait, never mind. I don't know the page.
33.
Yeah,
3 is like a theme today. Okay. We're gonna learn to we worked with trapezoids. Now we're gonna work with kites. All right. So then one of the things that I like about geometry is it kind of forces you to review trigonometry. Okay. And you will also realize that there are multiple ways of tackling questions. Sometimes you can use Pythagorean theorem. Sometimes you can use sine law, cosine law. Sometimes you can use the sum of triangles equal to 180. Right? All of those properties, they all jive, right? They all come together with this unit. All right. So we know this is a kite. So we're asked to put your pencil where this angle is. I'm not going to look. I'm not going to ask you. But would you, if I asked you to determine the value of angle XYZ, where would you put that? Find it. Take 2 seconds. You got to focus on the Y, right? That's the middle. So X, Y, Z, right? This angle right here. So this question is asking for this angle right here. Okay, I'm going to highlight that so it sticks out. And so do we know what that is? The measure of that angle without calculating anything? It's a kite. 101. There you go. So some of these are going to be so easy. Some of you are going to overthink it and you're going to leave it blank. Please don't leave it blank. Okay. So we know that this is 101 degrees. We use property, right? Property of kite. That's all we did there. All right, next, determine the value of Wx. And I'm pretty sure at least half of you already did this, maybe. Wx is just, if it's 2 letters, it's just the distance between those 2 letters. That would be 2 centimeters. Okay. So we say, hey, that's just 2 centimeters. We use the property there as well. Done. So fairly simple. Just remember, guys, the top and the bottom are not congruent. They're not the same. They're not. Can I just give you a little heads up, maybe? If you saw 2 centimeters, 2 centimeters, 2 centimeters, and 2 centimeters, if all sides were 2 centimeters, what shape would this be? Not quite a square, because the angles, I'm not guaranteeing you that the angles are 90. What shape would it be then? Sahil, did you say rhombus? Did I read your lips? Yes. It's a rhombus then, right? So be careful, because a kite could look like this. You don't have to copy this. But a kite could literally look like that. And look all wonky. Right? And some students are like, it's a diamond. Right? It's like, no, like if this side is the same as that and this is the same as that, we then know that these two are the same and that's a kite, right? And the diagonals would meet at a 90 and all kinds of information we would know. All right, let's go over to, now we're going to do some calculating. I will do this page and the next, and then I'll hand it over to you a little bit to warm up. And I'm telling you already, some things will be similar. Others, you'll have to use different skills that you've learned in trigonometry to figure out the missing side. So here, it's asking to calculate the length of WY. I'm going to use this one. WY is this stretch right here. And XZ is this stretch right here. So I kind of give you the same kite, but I split them up like this. It's easier to work with one diagonal at a time. These are called diagonals, right? Anything, if you connect any 2 corners inside a shape, those are called diagonals. Okay. All right. So if you wanted to calculate WY, this one right here, you could, let me make sure the original is on the screen here. Right, so I'm going to copy stuff over. There's a bunch of stuff that I know, but I'm going to focus in on this bottom one here because I know 3, 3, and 58. 3, 3, and this is 58 degrees. Okay. And now I'm going back to the bottom one there. So I copied that, and I'm going to go ahead and solve for this WY. I'm going to call this M, or you can some letter other than X and Y, because we do have X and Y there already. So I'm just going to call it lowercase m. And if it's like this, what law am I going to use? SAS, right? SAS is cosine. Cosine law, okay? But you have to pick the right one because there are two cases for cosine law. Some of you have it on your study sheet. I'm just going to cover this up for a bit. When it's side angle side, you can only solve for another side, right? So this is the formula we're going to be using. So m squared is equal to 3 squared plus 3 squared minus 2 times 3 times 3 times cosine of 58 degrees. And can I ask you to type this in? I promise your reviews are going to be done back to you tomorrow. I promise that. I'm very close. I just have to record and do some finishing touches. But I see that when you type this in, a lot of you are getting errors. And some of you are trying to split this up. I would say the way I taught it to you, if you have a decent calculator, anybody go pick up the calculator at Staples? I don't know if you did. But I type it in all in one shot like that and hit equals, and you get, the next step would be to just get m, in which case you're taking the root of both sides. So that's 8.461, and that keeps going. Taking the root of that gives you 2.91. We are in centimeters. Okay. So the shorter diagonal is 2.91 centimeters. That one gets bisected, right? Remember that? Let's solve the long diagonal here, this one. I'm going to go to my original and copy this information. You pick which side. I'm going to come from this side, 2 centimeters, 3 centimeters. I know that this is 101. SAS again, right? And the story repeats itself. I'm going to call this n, lowercase n. You can do whatever you want. N squared, right? So it's 3 squared plus 2 squared minus 2 times 3 times 2 cos of 101. N is the square root of what I get when I type all of that in. Go ahead and do that, because here cosine of an obtuse is negative. So this whole expression at the end will collide with the negative in front of it and actually add. You don't have to worry about the details if you're typing this in one shot. That's 15.289, and that keeps going. Take the root of that. That's 3.91. centimeters. There you have it. If I asked you to solve for angle X, would you be able to do it? This one up here? Without much work? We know that I'm going to do this up here, by the way, right now. Just finish copying. If you're still copying, go for it. Because this is going to come back later. Angle X up there is going to be 360 minus, there are two 101 degree angles, right? And I know that this is 58, so that is also going to be taken off. Why 360? It's a four-sided shape, so it's 360 degrees. Uh, 100. It's gonna be too messy. I'm just gonna make an arrow going to this one. That's 100. So technically you could have worked with the top here if you wanted to, right? You know, 2, 2, and 100, you should get the same answer. Okay. And I'm almost done. So I'll hand it over to you. Okay. Let's go to 34. Calculate the area of WXYZ. There's no angle symbol in front of it. So it's talking about this shape here. And I will just give you the shortcut. The area of a kite is long diagonal times the short diagonal divided by 2. Add this to your study sheet for the test. So in this case, the long diagonal is 3.91. We calculated that already. The short diagonal is 2.91, and we just divide that by 2. .69 squared centimeters is the area. And yes, you could have found one triangle, the area of this one triangle and the other one, and add them up, but this is the fastest way to do it. Right, that's my short, and the long one I'm just going to insert. Okay, so I want you to work on 35. Try pages 35 to 36 before you tune me out. It's one long question working with a kite. I'm starting polygons after this, so I will also post the answer key. I want you to, as you're working through it, be able to check, but I would first work, do a bunch, and then check the answer key. Okay, and I'm also going to circulate to make sure you understand or clarify anything that you might not see just yet. All right. All right, guys. I'm just going to show you the key and just go over how I solved it. So here it is. So you can add, make notes, do whatever you need to do. Okay, so 35, 36, here we go. The crucial piece of information is that AC is 10, and we know the short diagonal gets bisected, right? So the 10 turns into 5 and 5. In this case, to find x here, I just use Pythagorean theorem, right? Hypotenuse minus leg squared, you get 4.9. I do the same thing with this triangle here, right? Essentially getting 17.29. I guess I skipped A, but A is basically just, right? You've got two pairs of congruent sides, so I just stated that fact, right? Z is 18, Y is 7. Let's keep going. This is all posted, so you don't have to stress. To find the angle up top, like angle ABC, I used that whole triangle. If you used only half, right, like one of the right triangles, just double that angle, whatever you get. You should get the same answer. But you end up with 91.17 for that top there. And we knew that was going to be obtuse because of the negative, right? Same with ADC, which is that angle down here. I'm using the bottom half of that kite. Redo everything, you get 32.26. So this was different than the previous question, right? You have to use side, 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 the formula that goes with that, which allows you to find an angle. And then I'm asking for A and C, right? Those two side angles. Interesting stuff, right? I go with 360 and then I subtract the two angles that I've already calculated. And I split that remainder in half, right? So 236.57 divided by 2, it's 118.29 on both sides. Those congruent angles. So there you have it. That's what was required for this page. Even if you made a mistake, don't feel too bad, right? Like you're doing what you're supposed to do. You're giving it an effort. And we all make mistakes. That's part of learning. Next, page 36. Yes, as you, this key is probably what I should post. The long diagonal, I already know X and P, so I'm just going to add those up. And the short diagonal was given right from the beginning, so multiply those two, divide by 2, you get 110.95. I think that's what most of you were getting. Okay. All right. I will tell you that I posted the key all the way to page 48. So if you need more practice with trapezoids, kites, you name it, right? You go and do as many as you need to. I worked through the whole thing, okay? There we go. All right, now we're entering the last little bit of this unit, which is polygons. So I don't know if you want to, on 36, just say page 35 to 48 key, post it. right? And that's January 15th. And that's where you go to find that key. If you want to write that down, you can go ahead and do that. All right, so now we're going to go up to 50. Page 50, polygons. I'm going to stop this video here.